What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Getting into this episode of GH. I enjoyed this episode today. I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Seeing Robert and Mac working together again, it's been amazing. You know what I mean? And that scene with the two of them, and Robert is such a relic. Robert is such a dinosaur. Like, he refuses, like, he just does not like technology, like, at all. He has, like, this old school way of doing things. You know what I mean? Like, he's a technophobe in a way. Like, he's very old school. Like, he was sitting there looking through all the police folders and stuff. Mind you, a lot of records that they have nowadays are on the computer system. That's in your computers. He just refuses to use a computer. He's not with all of that typing, and Mac was looking at him like, bruh, I just updated your software. Why are you not using it? Robert was like, I'm not using that junk. You know what I mean? Like, he has an old school way of doing it. And I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am not mad at it. He reminds me so much of them old TV shows like Matlock and Murder, She Wrote and all that. You know, those cop shows where they use their intellect to solve a crime instead of using a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you watch shows like NYPD Blue and Nash Bridges and Chicago PD and Law and Order and stuff, and they use, you know, because you get a big gun scene and stuff, they be shooting out and stuff, they use their gun and stuff. Matlock and Murder, She Wrote was so different. They really did not need a gun to solve a case. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just used their intellect. You know, they were very old school. You know, they were very old school with it, and I love it. And that's how Mac is. You know, that's how Robert is. Very old school. He ain't got to do all of that. You know, he ain't with all that technology and all that. You know what I mean? Like, he's just set in his ways. But seeing the two of them work together was amazing. And Robert was basically like pulling his leg and stuff, basically, you know, trying to get him out the floating rib and all that. Because he know Mac misses police work. He know it. You know, and he knows that Mac needs to be back on the police force, you know, doing police work and stuff, doing what he loves to do. And, you know, he was kind of goading Mac into being police commissioner again. But, you know, Mac, he was like, no, I gave Laura and Jordan my word that I'm not, you know, when Jordan's ready to come back to work, I'm going to step down. But it was a part of a bigger plan. And it was all a part of Robert's plan. You know what I mean? Because he already knew that Jordan wanted Mac back on the police force. And she wanted him back as chief of detectives. I love that Mac is coming back on the police force. For me, I wish it was as commissioner. I wish. Because I feel like he's more experienced than Jordan. And I always felt like he should have got his job back because he was unfairly fired. You know, the former mayor, Lomax, remember back in, 2012, she fired Mac? And I felt like he was unfairly fired and he should have got his position back. You know what I mean? But I'm just happy that Jordan, you know, they decided to bring him back in a leadership position. So as chief of D's, he's a part of the chain of command now. You know what I mean? So he's basically, it's kind of like on One Life to Live. When Bo was police commissioner of Landview PD and John was the chief of detectives. So, you know, John was his right-hand man. So up here, that's the role that Mac will play. He will play second in command as chief of detectives. So it's going to be Mac, you know, it's going to be Jordan. She's the hierarchy. She's the head of the whole thing, the whole department. Then you have Mac, then you have Chase, and then you have the officers. So that's how the chain of command goes. And I'm happy for Mac, you know. It was funny how Robert, he referred to Felicia as the little lady. If Felicia was there and he would have said that, I'm pretty sure Felicia would have knocked this. She would listen. She would have knocked the Similac out of him, calling her the little lady. Yeah, right. But I'm happy for Mac. You know, it's good to see him back on the force, and he, you know, it's good to see that they're putting more energy into the PCPD because God knows they need to. So anyway, it was kind of funny though because Jordan was talking about, oh, her people. You know, they really respect Mac. Your people. First of all, those were Mac's people before they were your people. I just want to say that. Point that out. So anyway, moving on from that. Rocco was in a mood today. Rocco was just having a bad day today. I can't blame him. You know, he's upset, obviously, because his father is still gone and he doesn't know when his dad is coming back. And he's upset by that. You know, so he's just in a crappy mood at this point. And he thinks that his dad just, you know, quit. You know what I mean? I hate that he feels that way. Like he feels like his dad abandoned him or something. Which is furthest, you know, that's the furthest thing from the truth, you know. But he is a kid. And I could definitely understand why Lulu, you know, didn't want to tell him the whole truth about Dante leaving and why he left. Because he's just a child. You know what I mean? That's not something that you want to tell him. Maybe when he gets older, sure. But right now, no. You know what I mean? Make up a story, do whatever you gotta do, but don't tell him that. You know what I mean? He's a kid. He shouldn't be knowing that information yet. I wish that they would recast the Dante role or something. Or at least beg Dominic to come back. I mean, do what you gotta do at this point. You know what I mean? But, you know, because it's not true to the character for him to just leave. I mean, you know, especially for an extended period of time and we don't have a clue when he's coming back. It could take months. It could take years. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fix it. But Dustin was pretty good with the kids, you know. Rocco took to him and stuff. You know, he likes him. Dustin was pretty cool. I'm still on the fence about them potentially having Lulu move on so quickly, you know, from the divorce and stuff. But, I mean, some people do that in real life when they get a divorce. But that's only when the divorce, you know, was like, you know, mutual or y'all were having issues and you're ready to move on and start dating again. But this was a whole different circumstance. You know what I mean? Because Lulu definitely didn't want the divorce. And Dante only did it to, you know, so that way it could free her. So she wouldn't have to wait around for him and stuff. So, you know, and I think Dustin is a good guy so far. You know, I would hate to see him be the rebound guy, but we all know Lulu and Dante at some point in the future are getting back together. That's a given. You know, we all know that. But I did like that scene with all of them at the park and stuff. The chemistry between Lulu and Dustin is so great. I just don't think she should be dating a man, you know, with the letter D in his name for a while. Dante, Dustin. It could get confusing to you sometimes, especially if they were in bed and stuff and she just blurted out Dante name. You know how embarrassing that would be? That would be embarrassing. So anyway, moving on from that. This whole mess, listen, I feel bad for Cameron. You know, Cameron is doing whatever he can at this point to see whatever he can to help Franco. Because he wants to get Franco back not only for his mother, but for him and his brothers and put their family back together. You know, so he's doing all this research, trying to talk to Franco's doctors, like whatever he can. You know, Jason's advice is pretty much the same advice that Drew gave before he left. To not push Franco, leave it alone. And I'm like, that might be good in theory, but I don't think so. I think leaving it alone could be a bad thing. I don't think that could be a good thing. You know what I mean? I think that could be counterproductive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you want to do that. I'm just saying, like, it's good to keep pushing. You know, especially in this situation. I can understand where Cam was coming from, but I don't think... My whole thing about the Drew-Jason situation, I feel like the memory thing, it's not the same thing with Jason and Franco. You know, Franco had memories implanted into him. Jason didn't have Jason Morgan memories or nothing like that, new memories implanted in him. You know what I'm saying? He just got into a car accident, had brain surgery, and lost the old ones. But the old ones are still inside Jason's brain. You know, he just can't access them right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just not coming back to him. But, you know, he just moved on. I think that whole conversation that Jason had with Cameron, I think it made him realize some things. And by seeing how Franco has been acting towards Elizabeth and the kids ever since he became Drew, I think that put some things into perspective for Jason, and Jason can now see things from the other side in terms of how he treated the Quartermains once he became Jason Morgan. You know what I'm saying? The same thing he did back then is what Franco's doing now. You know what I'm saying? Being somebody else, turning your back on your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what Jason did. And it made Jason realize that. So I did love the scene between Jason and Monica, because it made him finally apologize to her for all the years that he pushed her away. He pushed Edward away. He pushed Alan away. You know, he wished that he didn't do that. You know, he wished that he handled it differently. I think a lot of people go through life with regrets. And, you know, well, me so far, I don't have any regrets. But I think people, you know, you never know what can happen in the future. Maybe you might regret something that you did back in the day that you wish you didn't do. And, you know, it happens. It happens at some point. You got some people who live life without any regrets. You know what I'm saying? They just don't care. But some that do. And Jason has finally, you know, admitted that he wished that he didn't do it. You know, he wished that he could have handled things differently back then. You know. And I love how receptive Monica was to it, because she was just letting him know, like, you know, she loves her son for who he is, you know. And for him just being who he is. The Quartermaines were definitely not perfect back then, especially not now, not then. You know, the way that Monica and Alan and Edward handled things back then were, you know, could have been handled way better. But it's a learning experience. For me, I never did like the way that they treated Jason. You know, they made Jason seem like he was more important than AJ, and, you know, they played that up back then. And I'm pretty sure Monica regrets that. I'm pretty sure Alan regretted it. Edward, you know, they all regretted it. I'm pretty sure they do. But, you know, the best thing that you can do now is apologize for it and move forward. And that's what they're doing. I don't blame Monica for wanting to know about Drew's past. You know, because she wants to let Drew 2.0, Drew 2012 know that they did not know about him back then. You know what I'm saying? Because he thinks that they just, you know, put him up for adoption and just left him. And that's not the truth. And Monica wants to let him know that. And of course Jason keeps telling her, oh, you should let it go. And that's easier said than done. You know, it's the parent in Monica that won't let it go. And I don't blame her for that. You know, she has a right to want to know. I just didn't like how before she tried to use Kim to get that done. I'm like, no, you need to go to Franco yourself. And that's what she decided to do. She was like, you know what? I need to find Franco and talk to him myself. And I agree. She do. You know, Jason was kind of trying to talk her out of it, but I think she should, you know, to finally get that off her chest. Because I think she's not going to rest until, you know, she at least lets Drew 2012 know that they had no clue about him. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the truth. And she wants the truth out there. And I can't blame her for that. That whole scene between Franco and Liz, that was a heartbreaking scene. I feel like we all know that that Franco is still in there. The real Franco. We all know that he's still in there because his memories are still in there. They're just, you know, bogged down by the memories of Drew. Like, Franco's memories are on the bottom now, and Drew's memories are on the top now. But I still feel like there's a big part of Franco in there that's still fighting and pushing to come back. You know? And I think that's the main reason why, you know, Franco went to the house to see Elizabeth. I don't think it was just to give the wedding ring back. I don't think it was just to do that. I think it was more than that. I felt like he did that because the real Franco was trying to guide him to that house. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, the real Franco is trapped inside his own body trying to fight his way back because his memories are still in there. Even though Franco is claiming that he's Drew and stuff like that, the essence of the real Franco, the soul of the real Franco is still in there, and I believe he's in there fighting like hell to come back. So, only time will tell. But that whole scene was sad, though. Like, you could just see the sadness on Elizabeth's face, like, when Franco kept telling her, can you please not refer to me as Franco, and, you know, stuff like that. And then when he took his ring off and gave it to her, I was like, wow. I felt bad for her. And then when Cameron came in there, you know, Cameron is just so upset right now because he feels like, you know, Drew 2.0 is being, you know, selfish and stuff. And I agree with Elizabeth. Like, you can't really blame him because he's obviously not himself. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody that he thinks he's someone else. So you can't really blame him for being a little cold. You know, he doesn't know this life. You know, he only knows what's in his mind right now. That's all he knows. And, I think Cameron understands that, but he's just frustrated by it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing none of them can do to fix it. Just when he finally, let his wall down and let Franco be a part of his life, now he lost them. And this is what Cameron was afraid of. And this is why Cameron had that wall up in the first place. Because he was afraid that Franco would leave them. And it kind of happened. Not in the way that he thought it would, but it happened. Franco did leave them. You know what I mean? And that's what he was afraid of. That's why he had that wall built up. So I feel bad for the kid. I wonder why Elizabeth was on the phone trying to call a lawyer. I know it's not for a divorce. I don't think it is. This is why I said yesterday I need the old Elizabeth to come back. The Elizabeth who manipulates and pull, stunts to get the man she wants. But this time, at least, it's a man that actually belongs to her and not somebody else's. Because we all know how Liz get down sometimes. Like, she be going after men that are spoken for. Or whose heart belong to somebody else. But at least this time, she's, hopefully going to fight for Franco. If Liz do what I think she's going to do, that would be the old Elizabeth. Because think about it. Her and Franco are married. Even though he's running around claiming to be Drew, legally he's married to her. She can have him committed to Ferncliff, Shady Brook. Whatever happened to Shady Brook? They don't show that no more. Think about it. Legally, she can have him committed because he's really Franco, but he's running around talking about he's somebody else, acting different. That would tell people that he's under, mental health issues. So she can technically have him committed. That would be smart of her to do it. Because she could put him on hold. That way it ensures that he stays in town. Even though I know he has no intention of leaving as of this moment. But, she can at least visit him and maybe they could do a little electroshock therapy. You know what I mean? I wouldn't put it past Liz to do that. I wouldn't put it past her. If the old Liz come out, I wouldn't put it past her. She better use that to her advantage. The fact that she's Mrs. Franco Baldwin, better use it. I'm just saying. It works in your favor at this moment. Sonny was irking my soul today. He was. Sonny always trying to walk somewhere acting like he owns something. Like he came up in the PCPD like he run the joint. I'm like, Sonny, who the hell do you think you are? Coming up there talking, who in charge? Sonny, who do you think you are, player? You ain't running nothing. And I like the little shade that Mac threw at him too when he said that Cassandra, when he told Sonny that Cassandra's good at hiding and stuff and that Sonny would know all about that. I said, oh, I detect some shade. But okay. And I think Sonny detected it too. Shit, it wasn't just shade. It was a whole palm tree. But yeah, I like the little back and forth between Sonny and Mac. It reminded me of the good old days when Mac was police commissioner trying desperately to put Sonny ass in prison. The good old days, man. I miss them. Can't go back, but you can relive them. All you gotta do is click on YouTube. Sonny thinks everything is about him. You know what I mean? Like, why is he even a part of this Cassandra storyline? It's not even about him. Even when Michael told him how she purposely poisoned Sasha, he was like, because, Sonny remembers Cassandra because they had that one little meeting where she wanted to bring product into Port Charles. And Sonny told her no because, Sonny doesn't dabble in drugs. He doesn't allow drugs into the town. It's at least not none of his territories and stuff. And he thought because he said no that Cassandra started targeting him or Michael and went through, tried to get through to Michael to get to him. Sonny, everything's not about you. And Michael told her this was about Nina. She did it to get back at Nina. And Sonny still wants to butt into this. I'm like, mind your business. Even when, Robert wanted to ask Michael some questions and stuff, here goes Sonny. Oh, what do you want to ask him? He's a grown man. He could talk for himself. He don't need you. And of course, Sonny went ahead and called Diane. Why would Michael need an attorney? Why would he need a lawyer? They're not questioning him as if he's a suspect. They're technically questioning him as a witness to something. not as a suspect. So for this, he doesn't need a lawyer. He knows he didn't break any laws. So I like how Michael just called, talked to Diane and was like, I don't need you to come down here. I know Sonny was worried, but I'm good. Like, obviously, he's there to give information. Like, he's not there to talk as a suspect because he's not a suspect in anything. But Michael definitely remembers something that Cassandra said that could help them find her. And of course, Sonny come walking up on Nina at the hospital, wanting to butt in, talking about, oh, you need to get Valentine and stuff so we could talk and figure out where Cassandra is. Sonny, why are you even involved in this? Cassandra's not coming after you. She's not coming after your family. You're a blimp on her radar. You're not even on her radar. So why are you inserting yourself in this? See, this is what I'm talking about. You're looking for trouble that isn't even there for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have more than enough on your plate. Why would you want Cassandra as your enemy? You see how dirty she plays. Like, she can get to your family and your kids without you even being aware of it. So why insert yourself into this? Knowing you have a pregnant wife. You know what I'm saying? You have a new boy in your house that's obviously up to something. Like, you got more than enough on your plate. Why add Cassandra to it? Go sit in the corner and mind your business. Michael already told you that Cassandra has nothing to do with you. Her poison and Sasha has nothing to do with you or him. So why are you inserting yourself? Mind your business. Period. And I'm glad Jack stepped up when Sonny told, because Nina told Sonny to just, leave her alone, get out of here. He was like, oh, I'm not going nowhere. Who the hell do you think you are? And I'm glad Jack showed up when he did to shut him down. What annoys me, though, is that Nina, like, I understand that she's suspicious of Jax and stuff because he had a file on Cassandra Pierce. So she thinks that because he had that file, that means he know her, he know where she is. And Jax was telling her, I don't know where she is. And I believe Jax would have told her if he did. Why wouldn't he? You know what I'm saying? Why would he keep Cassandra's whereabouts a secret from you? Or from the police, for that matter. For what? Obviously, he was doing some research on Cassandra and Valentine because, like he told Nina, there's something about Cassandra and Valentine's relationship that Valentine never told you. He's not being 100% honest with you about his relation to her. You know what I mean? And Nina just refuses to listen to anything bad about Valentine. And I don't get, why does she still have the blinders on? It's not like this is the first time he's ever lied to you and you found out about it. He's lied several times. And she keeps being blindsided by his lies. But yet you still refuse to believe it. Take the blinders off. Take off those rose-colored glasses and see Valentine for who he really is. Like, she just refuses to believe it. And it's a little ridiculous at this point. That's why I say she deserves whatever she get from him. Whatever new lies he tell her and she breaks down and cry over it, you deserve it. People keep warning you about him and you don't want to listen. That's your business. Like the old saying go, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me a third time, you just a dumbass. Like, seriously. Can't get fooled by the same person 3 times after they done showed you who they were the first time and you just keep not wanting to believe it, then that's on you after that. The first time I can give you a pass, but all them other times you keep letting them play you, that's on you. So Valentine, because Nina was trying to act like a gangster. She wanted Valentine to handle Cassandra, bring her in dead or alive. I was like, okay, gangster Nina. But I understand why Valentine didn't want to tell Nina any details and stuff about what he planned on doing when he got, Cassandra and stuff like that, because he wanted her to have complete deniability. He doesn't want her hands dirty in this, which I totally get. So, of course, he enlisted He enlisted Curtis to find Cassandra. And it sounds like, by the way the previews are tomorrow, he's offering big money too. Curtis might just want to take it. And of course, they got caught talking by Jax, of course. So now Jax probably is on to Curtis now. And Nina let it slip that she knows about the file on Cassandra, which was in his desk drawer in his office. So how else would she possibly know about that? Unless either she was snooping or she got Curtis to snoop. Or now I think he's starting to put the pieces together after seeing Valentine and Curtis talking. So now he's going to be more suspicious of Curtis now. Everything was just falling into place today. I mean, Curtis might want to take that little money. I'm just saying, like, that's a lot of money that he's going to be offering him. But of course, he wants Curtis to just find Cassandra, not approach her, not nothing. Just find her, call Valentine, let him know where she is, and he'll take care of the rest. So it's gonna be a showdown. Anyway, hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about today's episode, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Peace.